Rings. Okay, thank you for joining us. Okay, going to health and weather dystopian energies. Also has a lot to do with depopulation. So that doesn't mean I have to dig too deep into that, but there is some, it's also, like with the health scares, the weather energies, like, you find a timeline that, an exit point through health or weather or other things. uh, Keeping the sensors happy here. With But it does have a population frequency that you say there's a compromise of just okay, I'll leave. You might even go to another version of another Earth. Maybe it's better, maybe it's not. It's all I really don't know the whole story on that one. Um, yeah, it seems to be a hot topic there. Oh yeah, that's right. I think the censors are a little bit better about all this now. The COVID, there's conspiracies that they're going to push the lockdowns and all of that. We haven't seen anything. It might happen in December, maybe, but it feels like they have enough problems as it is, like with the whole immigration situation. They might have some health scares here and there, but not. I mean, some places might do masks, which I think they're doing right now, but not massive scale as some of the conspiracies are pushing. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not trying to push it behind the scenes somewhere, probably, but it doesn't mean it's going to come back again. I mean, it's hard to tell. I doubt. I mean, I'm not feeling it, but of course, you never know. Uh, just a power grab, whatever it might be. But some might want to do it, but others might not want to. Especially like New York is going through such a immigration situation where they put themselves in that situation. So yeah, I don't know if they're doing anything about the border. Probably not. They're just saying they are. So yeah, we're in some strange times. That's for sure. So yeah, the weather. Well, the weather. Yeah, weather. Like not to be too big on the weather, but it is part of what's happening here. Of course, obviously, health. Can't go into all those details, but weather, like what hit New York, which I wasn't aware of. I mean, it caught me by surprise. I didn't know there was a weather system even out there. But I'm not in New York, and apparently they didn't know either. So I think the New York flooding that happened last week, there was no warning of it. I don't think even the weather, there's a bunch of weather junkies out there. I don't think they had any idea what it was. Some might have picked it up on, but it did. There was, kids went to school, everything, business as usual, and all of a sudden everything's flooding. So like 9 inches of rain, things like that. So, that is, that's, I think I channeled that a while back. It does feel like there was some kind of manipulation there. Sometimes it's part of the Earth's frequency, but it does feel like the aftermath of it. Feel like there was a bit of an influence there. Now that could be also from the magic realms. It doesn't necessarily have to be from the government. It could be sorcery and all the stuff they don't teach in schools, but they have in children's programming. Yeah, if you want to know about finding a secret information, it's all in children's program, all the cartoons like Skeletor and whatever else. It's like even I don't know about the Transformers, but who knows? Well, that is a pretty big. Maybe it's a transformer doing all this. Maybe it's a transforming chair that's doing all this. Maybe that's what's controlling the planet. That would make sense. I still think it's a goldfish doing it, but anyway. Yeah, the goldfish. You can't trust a goldfish. I mean, first off, they're gold. And what makes them so special, they can just swim around by themselves. So there's something going on there. It's like a conspiracy. And also, there's a sun that mysteriously vanished. Of course, it has some kind of weird name to it. one of those. It's not our sun. If that was the case, well, I don't think we'd be here right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into this. I don't think it even says where it is. Not really. No, it doesn't even say where it is. Maybe they don't know where it is. All right, well, because they have a number for it. Is attractive. It's in the. Can't pronounce that. The constellation of Cygnus, Cygnusness, something like that. How do you pronounce that? There's probably a better way of pronouncing that. Oh yeah, and this is the other one. It's kind of neat. I didn't know about this one. This other one is but this is the Heart of Orion. Trapezium. Orion's Trapezium. Something like that. What's it called? Trapezium cluster. Trapezium cluster. Anyway, that's pretty interesting. I didn't even know that even existed. So I think they said it was a new cluster of stars that started there. So the James Webb, this is all coming from the James Webb telescope. It was all recent. I'm not sure about the star disappearing. I don't think I read that through that one completely, but just yeah, they said a new star just completely vanished, and it was going to a supernova. Anyway, all right, we'll go into that in a second. So just tapping into those energies. So basically tapping into the health and weather frequencies. Once again, what hit New York does feel like a manipulation. So not to talk about the weather to death, but it is, it's getting bizarre. Of course, the U.S. government is deflating. Yeah. Some would be like Cambodia or something like that. The way things are going there. I'm not prepared here. 1 second. The cats are going crazy behind the scenes, so moving the energies. At least they're not biting me. That's good. Give me a break. So I have a ton of prep sessions. A scheduler. I have a shop here. Then we'll go into weirdness that's out there. Let's see here. Oh, this is the James Webb stuff. So this is the N6946BH1. Sounds pretty exciting. I'm not sure when it disappeared though. So this is like this is today or yesterday's article. A star merger happened. Interesting. BH1 was added because of a black hole theory. Interesting, but the stars merged. That's why it disappeared. Oh, that's fascinating. Yeah, just another day in the office, huh? As the stars came together, it would have faded back to normal, explaining why it disappeared. Although the data has received as new information. Interesting. I'm just going by what I just found this randomly. I wasn't looking for it. Okay, so a study was done recently on this. Okay. So it's just a theory, but still, it sounds pretty fast. Either way, it's pretty interesting. So this is the area where it's at. Oh, yeah, this looks like a whole lot. Yeah, figure this one out. There you go. This is back in 2017. Maybe this happened in 2009. I'm not sure when it happened. Yeah, the mystery of disappearing star. And there you go. There's a nice. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, trying to figure this out. So it's in this constellation. So there's other James Webb. This is different. The nebula and covers. Oh, this is the Orion energies here. This is fascinating how it's called the Heart of Orion. So yeah, budding stars inside the clouds of gas. That's fascinating. So basically, planets are being born there. You can say it's fascinating. Something around those lines. Let's see. Each star in this quarter is massive, with 15 to 30 times the mass of our sun. Their short lives spanning just a few million years rather than billions will end in supernova explosions. So, yep. And even this looks like you get like a spider web energy. I mean, obviously there's much more going on there, but it does have a kind of a webbing there. Of course, you have the James Webb Space Telescope, so there's some energy about that. So insects are everywhere. Well, insectoid beings can also connect to the Archon. So there's that. That's always brighten anyone's day with that. So, well, they can take the Archons can take that form. Let's put it that way. Be robotic and do whatever they got to do. So, okay, all right. We'll tap in the health and weather energy, or yeah, health and weather frequencies. The cats have calmed down. Yeah, they're throwing everything around. I don't give Fritzy too many toys. She eats her toys. So you have like one of those. What's the fishing hook or the fishing line with a little toy at the end? She eats that. So I don't bother with that anymore. You can't have nice things. Of course, you'd rather go outside and kill everything. So I'm keeping a lot of lives, a lot of birds and squirrels and whoever else alive by keeping her indoors. It's like keeping a creature inside. So yeah. So all right. Going to health and wellness. Energy is the sun that vanished, and the Orion, the heart of Orion. I'll put that here. Let's call it that. That's a name for that. Okay. All right. Blessings. Greetings from astral consciousness. We connect also to your timelines. The health frequencies, to go into health, one of the reasons for it, well, yes, there's karma connected to it. But also, as you know, many of you know that your energies can't always, you're having difficulties like breathing, connecting to this Earth's atmosphere, the denseness of it. So that's part of it. It's like your body's just hanging in there for some. For others, have diluted or polluted their bloodline. As you know, the elites, and there's always going to be a sacrifice of that, but they still want higher knowledge, higher energies connected to the Egyptians, also connected to the Atlantean frequencies. Not to say they're experts at it, but they try to play it safe overall. So there's the health energies, and yes, there is a weapon technologies to cause people to get sick just by sounds you can't hear, like a dog whistle, something similar to that. Doesn't mean dogs can hear it, because if that was the case, all dogs would be going crazy right now. but there are sound frequencies done to make certain individuals sick. So you can't really panic about it, just go with the flow. Some of you can reverse the process, but it's basically just to keep the low vibrations going, as many of you know. It's just to, yes, purge the frequency too. Well, some would actually want this as a exit point. Yes, it can be very unexpected. Some do go to other realities or just go back into the spirit realms, whatever it might be. But it's not always going to be clear who's here for how long. It's always going to be a mystery. As long as you're a physical being, it's going to be difficult to access all of this. Now, you can be a physical being and know more, but obviously, there's a lot of lessons, challenges that have not been healed yet for you to access. Now, some might be able to access. Of course, if you knew when people are going to die, that would probably drive a lot of people insane. If you just kept picking up on it constantly. That's not exactly healthy. So, mystery is a good thing. You might feel death is coming, but you never really know, because if you're absolutely accurate about it, you might be the most hated person on the planet to ever be able to pick up on it, and extremely tortured. So sometimes having psychic abilities is what's cracked up to be, as some of you already know. And that's just one level of it. So the health energies, think of it as an exit point, but also a readjustment of the reality. It's like you're fine tuning yourself. Yes, it can improve, but also most likely you're clearing out some karmic debts there. Yeah, many just choose a health. It's like they want wealth, they want prosperity, they want friends, but they clear out their karma. They'll have illness, they'll have frequent headaches, they'll have you know, you know, a weak bone structure, whatever it might be. Now, others that are connected to the elite bloodlines, where they're already frail, that's a different story. That's basically souls choose that to heal those beings or to improve it or to battle it, whatever it might be. And there is some sabotage there by some of those darker energies to stop that. So, as for the weather frequencies, of course, that is a higher consciousness. Yes, there's godlike beings here doing a lot of that. It's not just government. Government's not that powerful. Yes, it can influence, but there are other beings in higher dimensions that are godlike here and feel they have it all figured out. And yes, they fight with humanity. Some don't like humanity, but they still deal with, like, they hate it so much, but they still hang around. So that's their issue. They can leave you alone, but they like the vulnerability of society. Feel like they can, like, the more that these manipulative beings manipulate society, they also learn from you. So it's like a teacher that's giving you a hard quiz all the time and even torturing society, but they actually improve, and eventually they might move on or even change their ways and become nicer. Of course, you can't always see that in the physical, but they are here. They're just not. Well, why would a godlike energy? Why would, now I realize there's many of us, not just one. And why would they appear here physically? What would be the point of that? What do they care? But if you can tap into their energies, not that they care of that either. They don't want you to tap into their energies. Usually, it depends on, well, some are, those are benevolent ones who can, they're okay with that, but there's others that don't want you to. Blessings. Brings you is the consciousness of your universe. There are fairy beings in your universe, meaning like space fairies, you can say, space dragons, if you want to word it that way. But creation is always going to continue, of course. But as for stars merging, yes, it's like two lovers coming together, you could say. Well, it's also think of it as two ideas that feel like they need each other to coexist, to make themselves stronger for an experience, And yes, the beings that connect with that reality, many of these suns are not here for a long time, just a short time. Yes, a couple million or several million years, which is still a lot. But in your time, it's actually very short. Well, at least the age of your universe is quite short. But it's like living in a house, for a short time for 30 years. And then that house has to come down. And yeah, or it's like a city or society, however you want to word it. But for yeah, there's specific reasons for them to come together for certain experiences. Once the experiences are over, yes, then it closes, collapses, and moves on. But nothing ever goes away completely. It just changes form. Like the sun itself evolves and can evolve into a supernova and spread and go to other places. It takes that knowledge that it learned from the beings that incarnated there and then spreads out to other places. So think of like also like a star. Yes, it's still learning. Like you're learning from it, it's learning from you. And once it's like a university that's finally completed its task, its knowledge, and then it can even get more complicated as it expands out to other places. Even on your world, you have like you don't have this very often. You don't see it very often, but there are small universities here that pop up here and there. Usually they're independent. It's kind of like that. Just have specific, or it's like if you want to take it to a scientific, it's like a science lab that appears. Not to do science lab on people, beings, but just it's learning. It's just another experiment, like as everything else is. It's creation experiment. Everything is always going to be experiment. You're always going to hear that word here in the physical realms, even if that is a non-physical reality. I mean, obviously the star clusters are here physically. Of course, they're not near you currently, but they do affect you a great deal. Well, think of it also like two stars coming together. Everything in this universe affects your world. So there is a connection there. And some of you might even feel like you're connected to a reality as of that. Now realize when that sun goes supernova, there's different realities. Some are like terrified of its end, and others just move on to other places just like that. Some need to go through their panic attack for whatever reason, because some don't want to leave; they want it to continue forever. But then again, there are realities where it does continue forever, but then it also becomes a stagnant frequency, meaning they don't always grow. So basically, it's like when the sun goes supernova, it's like kicking everybody out. Yes, kicking them out of the nest, you can say. So we realize this is also a physical reality. So it's just part of this universe. There's always creations being done everywhere. So you can always find something similar to it somewhere else. Blessings. Greetings with the heart of Orion consciousness. Yes, there's a great amount of reptilian frequencies there. Beings that do feel like they have it all figured out. Well, at least they claim they do. There's, of course, insectoid frequencies. Well, basically, these new areas that are nebulas are being created. That's always going to occur. Not always with the reptilian influence, but sometimes there's an occurrence there. There's also an Arcturian frequency. There's various different. The Orion energy is always growing. It's always learning from itself. And eventually there's, your solar system can mimic what's going on in Orion in its own way. Eventually. Yes, many millions of years in the future, it can be similar, or it's just a gassy type structure or plane or however you want to word it. So Orion is it's a melting pot. It is where a lot of recipes are placed into it to create. They don't always work out so well. Then they come to your world. Your world has a lot of weaknesses within it, and it's learning how to heal itself, but still having difficulties. It's having difficulties letting go of the past of being tortured, you could say. Throughout wars, throughout history, some of the reptilians are still repetitive, and their energies feel like they're even stronger than everyone. Of course, there's reptilian beings that find more of their feminine selves and just giving up the ego. So eventually, yeah, new discussions will be made on your world of these topics. That's why your world starts to open up. Yes, it might be crazy talk. Those are in the physical realms, but higher dimensional, speaking of just how the universe works. Yeah, you're most likely a physical human that's programmed by society is not going to take any of this seriously. And why would they? Well, because this world is their home. And why would they want anything else? So, yes, they do say those of you that are here on a spiritual direction are invaders. Of course, there's always going to be, yes, I wouldn't call it a war, but a disconnect between the spirit energies and the physical beings. Physical beings still feel like they, you know, yes, this world isn't perfect, but they feel like this is still their home. And spiritual beings, so they incarnate here to bring in higher dimensional energies, yes, are not always trusted. And that's probably always going to continue for now, at least. That can change in the future, but that can be several hundred years in your future, though. Will always be more discussed. Still no trust, but at least you're having a conversation about it. Right now, it's just being ignored, as you know. But it does go back to the Gnostic energies. And Gnostic energies, yes, are unbalanced themselves because the Gnostics, they feel like the spirit world that's all that exists. The astral is all that matters. The physical realm is, yes, the wrong. It's like everything wrong with, existence. Of course, the physical beings feel the same thing about the spiritual realms. But you all seem to find each other no matter what. Well, meaning spiritual beings, higher dimensional beings find themselves in a physical reality, and then physical beings find themselves in a non-physical reality. I want you to connect with that. Blessings.